Mary O'Halloran, welcome to Now We Sip Champagne. Mary, what are we going to be sipping on today?
Can I just have coffee?
Absolutely,
Is that okay?
absolutely. We would love to make you some coffee. I have these Nespresso pods here. We're going to go ahead and pop that in for you. I mean, we could make it Irish for you, Mary, but I know it's Monday,
okay.
so
Yeah.
probably we got to just...
Nothing Irish for me.
Just you. You're Irish enough, right? Yeah, so let's go ahead and we're going to start that up here. Perfect. We'll get that cleaned up. We call it that angel share, that little extra.
Amazing.
Let's see, we're going to put that here for you.
Thank you so much.
Mary, cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
This is amazing.
Yeah, Santé,
Yeah.
right?
Sláinte.
Sláinte, yes. You are known as the famous scone lady of New York City, and we'll get into how we met and why. But more interesting, you're actually a bar owner.
Yes.
You're a bar owner. You are a bar owner. And as a fellow bar owner, I am really interested to hear about that and how it all started for you and why the hell did you want to open up a bar in New York City?
You know, I came here from college. When I finished in college and I started working in an Irish bar, and I just just loved it. As time went on, I never changed what I was doing. I still continued to love it. Then I eventually opened up my own place.
And what did you start doing when you worked at the Irish bar? Were you a barback, a server, a bartender?
Everything.
Everything, right?
Yeah, jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. And it always starts as, was it difficult getting hired that first time, or did you find because...
No. I came here when I was for a couple of summers from college also. And so it was easy. Back then it was easy. I mean, it's like 33 years ago, 32 years ago. So it was very different. My first waitressing job was in a country and western bar, and I came here for the summer. I had never waitressed before. It was an Irish country and western bar on 2nd Avenue. It was called O'Lunny's. There was live country music, and they had a dance floor. And I just, I started waitressing there, and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. But I managed, and I think if you're a waitress or a bartender and you have it naturally in you, it just comes to you. And if you have it with people, you have a way with people, it just works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you obviously, we both know that line, fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in New York, they want you to have this New York experience, but it really is, you just get thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
And people that have that high volume energy within them, they always fit right in. And it is, you never know anything, and you get through those first couple of shifts where you're fucking shit up and you didn't ring this in, or maybe you dropped something or something like that. But then afterwards you're like, damn, that was a thrill. That was a thrill. I got through that, I can do that again.
Yeah.
I can do that again. And then it's just like learning a new language if you go to another country and you don't know anything and you're kind of submersed in their culture and you're the alien there, but then you learn it and you get it and you feel it, and then now you know it, and you're the one speaking the language. So do you have any memories of those first shifts, like that you were...
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh yeah, tell me.
I didn't know what an Irish coffee was.
Stop
Can you
it.
imagine that?
Mary, you're from Ireland.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I was young. I was like 18, 19.
And actually, probably in Ireland, they don't refer to it as an Irish coffee.
You have Irish coffee, but I would never have been in somewhere that people would be serving Irish coffees. I remember my mother making an Irish coffee, but I never thought about the whiskey going into the coffee.
Right, because that's just
I remember it was
coffee
like
for
in
you
a
then.
glass, and it had cream, and she had this special glass that had the little rim on it where the cream should go and all of that. But I always remember I served a coffee to this table, and it was supposed to be an Irish coffee, and I brought down a regular coffee to the man, and he said to me, no, I want an Irish coffee. And I was like, but it is Irish coffee. And he was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, it's Irish coffee. Like, I thought that the coffee in the pub, the bar,
right,
was it was coffee like they got from
this
Ireland.
Is an Irish bar. I'm from Ireland. Like, how much more Irish can you get?
No. But then I went to the waitress, and she's like, "Oh my God, no! An Irish coffee is this, And she showed me how to make it, everything, and brought it down to him. And I always remember she said to me, she was like, "Now, when you make an Irish coffee, you have to heat the glass before you put the coffee in
Oh,
because then the coffee stays hotter, you know.
okay.
But it was just so, you know, it was just smart what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay. And every time I've made a gazillion Irish coffees, I will never make the Irish coffee without heating the glass.
How do you
just
heat?
because of that.
Yeah. How do you heat the
You just
glass?
put like a little bit of, you know, hot water in it first with a
Okay.
spoon.
Just the same
and
way you would
swirl
like
it.
chill a martini glass with
Yeah,
ice,
yeah,
or
and
we
just
have a
swirl it. So then you're pouring the coffee into a hot glass.
into a hot
Yeah,
glass.
yeah, yeah, and it
Very.
makes all the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know how you like well, I like coffee hot.
Yes.
You know, and just the coffee stays hotter longer. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, that's a great tip. Okay.
I mean, like I had no idea when I was waitressing first.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no clue. I remember another time I had a table and it was, they were from Japan and the man wanted wild turkey bourbon.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of wild turkey bourbon ever. Like, I was like, I didn't know what he wanted. But he stood up and he was like, wild turkey.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then I get it,
Yes.
you know, and I'm like,
Going
he's
behind the
telling
bar
me-
and you're like, where's
but
the turkey
yeah,
back here?
So I
Where's
go to
it?
my waitress that was helping me and I'm like, you want wild turkey? She's like, yeah. And, you know, she explains to me what it is. And then she explains to me that, you know, there's bourbons and there's whiskeys
Right.
and, you know, because I had no idea.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, I just winged it. And
You turkeyed it, actually.
yeah.
You wild turkeyed
but
it.
you know, I loved it. I loved waitress and I loved being in that bar working. There was something about it, you know.
Yes.
And then I think that just kind of like I came back then for 3 summers after college and I still went to a bar and worked as a waitress. And then after I finished in college, I came here and I said, I'll stay for a year. I stayed for 17, went back to Ireland for a year because I had 3 kids. And I was like, I'll go to Ireland and, you know, raise my kids there. But I lasted a year at home. And then I came back here to New York. And then that's when I opened Mario's, when I opened the pub. Because I knew, this is it. I'm going to be here now. So
You're a New
know.
Yorker.
Yeah.
You know, New York
Yeah.
is some place that it's the same as high volume, right? It's either you love it or you don't. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But the people that it's for, it's really for them. And they
Yeah.
can't imagine being anywhere else. They can't imagine, like, even myself, you know, I'm from Vegas. I've lived many places, but New York is the love of my life. It's,
Yeah.
you know, the only place that can keep up with who I am and what I want to do for my
Yeah.
own life. And, you know, I find that, you know, I always talk about high volume, but New York, it doesn't get more high volume than New York, right? There's
Yeah.
always something going on. There's always something challenging you. There's always something new to learn. There's always a new place to go. And so, yeah, the people that it lives inside, that they always like want more. They always.
If you love it, you love it. And
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And anything else is, you know, there's that famous quote, and anything else is a bore. It's kind of like we've been ruined for life. It's that toxic love affair that you want to
Yeah.
step away, but you can't, because New York is a bitch. She's a bitch sometimes, and she'll really, you know, put you in your place. And they don't say, you know, if you make it here, you can make it anywhere, because I think you know how tough it is to make it here and how many people want to make it here.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know, because, you know, I myself, I have 3 bars, and, you know, you've obviously been through the process of getting a liquor license, and it was challenging for me. I'm so curious, you know, was it challenging for you to get a liquor license?
It was, but you know, you just do what you have to do and you just like keep at it and figure it out. And, you know, like when I opened Mario's, I borrowed money from my family. I borrowed money from, like, you know, I just like really just pulled together anything I could.
Yes.
And yeah, getting the liquor license was tough. I remember I had this amazing liquor license attorney. He was just this phenomenal older man. There was something about him when I went into him, because I was like this woman on my own who had all these kids and I was pregnant. And he was just like, I know he was looking at me like going like, what the heck is this woman
What
doing?
show am I?
But I just, you know, I persevered, and he would message me and say, hey, I need this piece of paper. Hey, I need that. And I just stuck at it until I got it. That lawyer, he died last year, but he has been my liquor license attorney since.
Wow.
And he was amazing. And he would say to me, you know, listen, it's a tough process. You know, community boards are so tough, you know, but he would say, just keep going, keep doing it. You know, you'll manage, you'll get it.
What
You
I
know.
wouldn't give to be a fly on, well, you don't need to be a fly on the wall because I think you know that for community board meetings, anyone is welcome to go. And
Hmm.
what I wouldn't give to be in that room when you stepped up pregnant and you're telling them and you're pitching or with your lawyer saying, I'd like to open a bar. And that's truly, that's incredible. And certainly, you know, obviously things have changed, times have changed, and things are, you know, maybe a little bit more difficult, more red tape, more maybe slowing up, but I feel like you're absolutely right. And if you have someone that keeps you on track, because a lot of people they always ask
Yeah.
the same thing, how? You have to ask questions. You have to do some homework yourself. You have to just I always say if you don't know something, no problem. There's a lot of things that I don't know, but I'm always willing to learn and I want to learn. So if I don't know, I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask until I know.
Hmm.
And finding, you know, people that will help guide you in the right direction. You're fortunate you had like a great lawyer. I had a great one as well, and it is, and they stay on top of you. Okay, this is what I need next. Go get your fingerprints done. Then I need this, you know, background information. Then I need to know the hours. Then
Hmm.
I need a floor plan. Then I need a layout. And it can seem overwhelming, especially if you see it all at once. I need all these things, but then it really if you slow down
Yeah, it
and
all
you
falls into place and it
yeah,
all makes sense. And
yes.
if you just like for me with my liquor license attorney, like, you know, my trust was in him. I knew what he was doing. I could tell he just, you know, he knew everything, every step of the way. And I just followed exactly what I was told and, you know, it worked.
And you know, I'm not going to say that that happens for everyone because you know that's also part of that luck and those stars aligning. Because there are some
Hmm.
times, and I've
Yeah.
been to some meetings where there are lawyers that don't know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, of
And
course.
then you know, not only have you paid these people, but you're entrusting them to guide you the right way.
Hmm.
It's the same way with agents and deals and landlords.
Yeah.
So you know, even for me, I know that I held out for the right people to guide me in that direction. My agent, he and I have been together for 11 years, and he stuck by me for 3 of them when I was turned down. I was turned down for 3 years. Landlords did not want to lease to me, and agents didn't want anything to do with me because I was a woman. I was on my own. I didn't have a partner. I had, you know, like I did the same thing. I remember UES is my first place that I opened in 2017, and I lived on the Upper East Side. I lived on 89th and 2nd for, you know, over 15 years, and I was adamant about wanting to open UES in my neighborhood. They didn't have ice cream. They didn't have a cocktail bar, so I wanted to open this ice cream shop speakeasy on the Upper East Side. I loved my neighborhood, and on 2nd Avenue there was an Irish pub, and it was Genesis, and I'm sure maybe you know it or have
Yeah,
heard of
yeah,
it
yeah. I've heard of
because
it.
they've
Yeah.
owned the gentleman that owned it. He owned multiple, and when I signed my first lease in New York after you know looking for an apartment, I went there and I had an Irish. Well, I just had some Irish whiskey, but I remember them, and they were like, you know, welcome to the neighborhood, and they were my guys for so long, and they only went out after the pandemic, but sitting out there. I love the people watching, right? We love that, you know, that street traffic and all the energy outside. And so the shop that I had, it was just a closed window. And I was like, you know, it's an ice cream shop. I would love for people to be able to look outside and be there and see the passerbyers. And so I had my money that I had saved up, but I didn't have enough. And I went to one of my best friends, who's my ex-boyfriend, but still one of my best. I said, I need windows that open. And the contractor had quoted me like $20,000. I was like, I need $20,000. I need my windows to open. I don't have any more money. And he lent it to me. And, you know, it paid him back right away. But it was the right choice because, you know, now I don't know what I would not do without those windows and seeing, you know, the kids sitting in them and seeing, you know, people of all ages coming and sitting there. And
It's like the open window, though. It brings the people, you know, you're bringing the street into you and you're putting yourselves out to the street
right,
also.
right.
It's like you can't beat that open window.
Yeah, you can't beat that open window.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It was, but yeah, you really, you make it happen somehow through determination and your
Yeah, and
desire.
if you really want it,
If you really
gonna
want it,
get
you
it.
make
You're
anything
gonna do
happen.
it.
Is that right,
Yeah,
Mary? If you make
totally.
that's it.
Totally.
And you know, speaking of that, I know that you get asked all the same questions, and people say, well, how do you do it? You have 6 kids. You have 6 kids. You own a bar, and now you open up this scone bakery or this bakery that you serve these scones.
It's an Irish soda bread shop.
It's
That's
an
what
Irish soda
called.
bread
Yeah.
shop. So you got a bar, you got a soda bread shop, you got 6 kids, and people are like, how do you do it? Honestly, I'm like, how do you, because I don't have any kids. I have, you know,
Yeah.
3 venues and, you know, multiple businesses, but I don't have kids. So I'm going to ask you because I genuinely want to know how do you do it? How do you?
I mean, I just do it. I don't think
Yeah.
about it too much.
You know, I knew that'd be your answer.
Yeah,
I knew that'd be
I
your
mean-
answer because I get asked that same question too. How do you do it? You just do it.
Yeah.
You just do it, but you've said it before, and you know, I think that it's so powerful that your key to success or your secret ingredient, because I do know that people always ask you, you know, what's in these scones and why are they the best? Why is this the best scone in New York City? And
I don't
does
know if
it, you
that's
know,
really true,
I
but
mean, I would definitely say that it's true. I am, you know, a big foodie myself, a big foodie, a big drinky. I love to go to these places. We always make these lists, and I can definitely say that they're the best that I've ever had. I haven't had all the scones in New York, and I haven't had, you know, gone to Ireland, but these are the best that I've had. And what is the secret ingredient? It is what you say to everyone that asks you, why are these the best?
I think it's because it's like I make it from my heart, and it's like it's not about money. It's not about anything. It's just I love making the scones. I love people being like, just people loving the scone, you know. And it sounds crazy, but I won't let anybody else make them except myself. And people think I'm like off my rocker, but I'm not. I know that if somebody else went to do it, they're not going to get the same product, you know? And I don't know. I'm this big sap when it comes to the scones because I'm so proud of them because I love making them so much. And there's something about them, you know? Like during COVID and the pandemic, I mailed them out to people, you know, like I did like mail order. And that's what kept me sane. That's what kept me like, I was in the bar with nothing and my kids and like nothing on the street. And I started mailing the scones out to people through my traditional Irish music session. And we put it up one night on the session on, you know, online or whatever. And people started ordering them. And it was just like so small. I had like a gas oven in the kitchen and I could bake 3 trays at a time. Like I started to get orders and I thought, I used to think like if I had like, whoa, if I had 25 orders going out in one day, that was like insane. Like it was huge. And it just kept me sane, you know? Like I used to get letters and stuff from people and like emails, and people would send me like, you know, just thank you cards in the mail telling me that they got the scones and how great it was. And, you know, it made people so happy. Then, you know, as time went on, like it got more like, you know, people would come, and New York One came and he did a little piece on me. And like 2 weeks after New York One came, for those whole 2 weeks, it was like people coming knocking on the window during COVID, you know, wanting the scones and stuff. Humans of New York came, Brandon from Humans of New York, and he did a story, and then that went wild. And just the amount of scones that was ordered, I committed to making every single scone myself and sending them out to people exactly the way they got it during COVID, like the people that I had sent them out to during COVID, because he did the story and he told my story, and he wasn't telling my story about scones. He was just telling the story about, you know, this woman who had a bar and 6 kids and trying to survive and all of that. Yeah, then it just, like, there was a ton of scones sold, and I made every single scone myself. It took me a year and 10 months to do it. And during that year and 10 months, all my regular customers in the bar, they all came in and helped me to pack up the scones and everything. But I stuck to making every single one myself. And they would laugh at me, and I would have some rejects on the side, and they'd be like, they're not rejects. Like, what is wrong with her? You know, and sometimes they would say, don't let her near, just put them all in the boxes. Don't let her pick out rejects, you know, because I was so pathetic. Like I wanted every scone to be exactly perfect, you know. Just, you know, time has passed and people come and go all the time in and out of the pub for the scones, and people email me, and I get like all these just beautiful, beautiful messages from people about what the scones mean to them when they get them in the mail. For the longest time, I used to always think I'd love to have a little shop where people can come in and just get a scone, like just walk in and get a scone right out of the oven and eat it. And yeah, the opportunity came up and I did it. I just knew, I knew it would work. Like I could tell in here, I was like, I just knew. Now, like the shop, you know, it gets really busy and like people will come in, like people from Humans of New York, from my Humans of New York story, they come in, like they could be from, you know, wherever, California, from Alaska, from anywhere, you know, and they will come in and they will tell me, we ordered your scones during COVID and we had you on our list when we would come to New York City to make sure that we came here to get a scone from you. And even before I opened the shop, they would come to the pub, these people. Like they were just, there's no words for them. They were just amazing, the most amazing people ever. Honestly, I think, you know, every single time I make them, it's not, I'm not in there going, oh my God, I have to make scones. I just love doing it. When I make them, it's like I turn them in those trays and there's something about it.
Damn, Mary,
Do you know what I'm saying?
You're
I'm
an
just
icon. Let me tell you right now, you are a fucking icon because we all know the I Heart New York. You are the heart. You are the heart that makes the I Heart New York. Like, I knew obviously your story, but like, that's incredible. And
well, people think that I should. I've had like tons of people come to me saying, "Oh, let's get a bakery somewhere. Let's multiply and let's
you
do
won't be
this
able
and
to.
let's do that."
You
And I'm
won't be
like,
able to.
I can't do
You can't do it. You can't multiply
because
who you
what's
are.
going to happen is somebody else makes my product. It's not going to get the same. It's just not going to get.
It's not going to be the same.
I don't know what it is. I firmly believe that when you're making something and when I'm making those scones, like my heart is in it, in every single bowl that I mix. And it doesn't matter how tired I am, I still just, there's something about it.
Well, and we know that phrase, that term, mom and pop, right? And the mom and pops are these venues that you go to or these places that you go to where as soon as you walk in, you feel the soul, you feel the love, you feel the connection to who, you know, wanted to open this place because they had a dream of it. And it is that ingredient, that is that secret ingredient, is that love behind it. And I can tell you, you know, for being transparent, I opened up 3 places, each one of them, I created the cocktail menus, I designed the places myself, I have a certain look, a certain way that I want the guests to be treated, a certain sound, I want all these things. And wanting to open up multiple, they don't operate the way that I would love them to. Every single straw caddy isn't full. Every single cocktail isn't always made perfect. Sometimes things come out of the oven, they're cold on the inside, things that kind of kill me inside because, of course, I would never want that for my guest. I would never say, please come into my home and have a cold bao bun. Please come into my cocktail bar and have a terrible cocktail. Like it's just because as you get bigger or as you expand, you have to trust. It's like your child, it's your baby, and you have to trust new babysitters. And some days those babysitters are going to come and they're going to care about your business, and some days they're not. And sometimes they're just taking the job for the money. They could care less if your kid's eating junk food or watching TV. It can be very difficult to expand and not have that product that you created with your heart, with your soul, be given to them. And, you know, people also ask, you know, like, I could do a lot of things. I've done a lot of things in my life, but I genuinely love bars. I love bars. I love the nightlife. Like, you know, my parents met in a nightclub. I was raised in Caesar's Palace. Like, I love the music loud. I love the drink strong. I love the people beautiful. Like, it is what I love, you know. I'm not a restaurateur. I'm not a baker. Oh my gosh, I'm a buyer, but I am not a baker. I baked one pie once once upon a time, and I remember researching on how to bake pie. You had to put ice cubes in the dough, and I did on my little table outside. I'm like, and the relationship didn't last, so like it was one and done. So, but it was a good pie.
Yeah.
But you know, the people that are good at what they do and what they're passionate about, you know, even a friend of mine, he's always like, oh, you got to open like the next viral thing, the next viral craze. You know, like you have these viral scones. Levain has their viral cookies there, and I'm like, I don't know how to bake. I don't know shit about baking, and it always has to come because New Yorkers they're gonna know. They're right. You can't you can fake a lot of things in New York, but like they know quality. They know quality, and they know heart, because New Yorkers are just, they're full of their heart, and as busy as they are and as many things that they've got done. People sometimes they say that New Yorkers are mean, or they have this, but it's not that. It's just that they're busy. They got a lot of shit going on. But New Yorkers will take the shirt off their back. New Yorkers will have a drink with you. New Yorkers will dine with you. They'll take you here. They'll take you there. And New Yorkers know when something is legit, which is your secret to success. But it's no secret. It's no secret. You came to New York because you loved it. You could be in Ireland if you wanted to. You could sell soda bread. You could sell scones in Ireland if you wanted to. But you came to New York because you loved it. So behind that was love. And then you opened up your shop, and it came from a place, and I can tell you that I had a very similar story with UES, because obviously with the cocktail bar being really what my business was, it was closed because we all had to have the bars closed. But the ice cream shop was able to stay open because it was deemed food and it was deemed necessary. And on this block on 2nd Avenue, the only thing that was really open was the diner and us. And we became this very therapeutic place for people to come and have their one walk a day. Elderly people with their aides, or, kids would come because we were all scared. We were all scared. We didn't know what was happening. The neighborhoods were quiet, and the city that we knew, like, we were just all very scared. And so just like scones bring you back to a place of comfort and warmth, and you're thinking of family, and it touches you, ice cream did the same. Ice cream saved my life during the pandemic. And to be able to, again, still be able to have that human connection and have people come in. And, one of my best friends, all my best friends, they came to help me because my employees, they were all on unemployment, and my best friends came, and my one best friend, he had a car. And so we drove all over the city delivering cocktails, and I made champagne baskets for anniversaries and Zoom dates and anything that people were doing to just still, and I would serve these cocktails in fun sippy cups and ice cream cones and Legos and little pandas, or just anything to kind of
give people a boost.
Give people a boost.
Yeah.
Give people a boost. Have some light in their very dark. And, I think that food, we know how powerful food is, and it does. It takes us back. It takes us forward. It connects us. It's, where people go. I always say that within these four walls is where all walks of life come together. The doctor, the hooker, the stripper, it doesn't matter. Everybody comes together for food and drink. It's truly that universal unifier, and I know how powerful it is. So to hear your story about these scones and people wanting them during the pandemic, and then wanting to come have them in person. And, also what I love about you is, and I use this term a lot, is this Instagram tricked, right? You see a lot of things on Instagram, and a lot of these influencers, they'll put you on a list, or they'll say this is the most amazing, and then you kind of get there and it can be a little underwhelming, or it can't be exactly what the internet, because the internet's a crazy place. But when people come for your scones, and yes, they have their New York list, they come from all over the world. And how can we, I'm honored, I'm sure you are too, that somebody from Spain or somebody from, any of these other countries come, and they put UES, the ice cream shop, they put Mario's scone shop on their list of, and maybe they only have 3 days, or they have a short amount of time in New York, but you're on their list. They came all the way, they traveled all this way just to have, just to go into your shop. And when they go into your shop, just like when I went into your shop, there you are. There you are baking them yourself. And it is truly like witnessing, it's better than, meeting any sort of celebrity or anything like that. Like, you are seeing the woman behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, baking physically, with her body, with her heart and her soul. And then it comes through. And it comes through, and the taste comes through, because I'm not just tasting flour and sugar and salt and all the things that go into baking bread, but I am tasting a woman and her dreams and her love and her family and like her hard work. And damn, Mary, damn, if I can't tell you how that shit does not hit so hard for me, because
But it's so important.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, today, like everything is the internet, everything is Instagram. It's like my kids, they're like, oh, a TikTok and this and that. And I rarely look at it, right? Like, what I try to do is, if somebody sends me a message on Instagram, like they send a reel or whatever it is, like, I'll thank them for doing that. But that's it. I don't do anything else. I really don't even know how to, like, TikTok, forget it. I wouldn't even know how to go on it. But everybody is so obsessed with it, and everybody is so obsessed with, like, viral this and viral that. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, it's really important that people come into the store and they know that I am so grateful that they are in the place, and that they've came from wherever to get a scone. And it's like, I really want to make sure that that customer gets exactly what they should get.
Yep.
And it sounds ridiculous, but like my kids will say, I'm obsessed with the scones, but it's not that. It's just me. Like if I do something, I do it right. And if I'm telling you that they're my scones, then it's me that's going to do it.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, you
And I mean, that's another thing that I feel like, you know, everything is painted up to be so amazing on Instagram and on Facebook. And, you know, and you look at it and people look at it and they're like, you know, sometimes you can go places and it can be so disappointing.
Yes, Instagram
you know?
trick, yeah.
And like people come up to me and they'll say, oh my God, like you're here. And like I say, who do you think is going to be here? Of course it's going to be me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I make every single scone myself. Nobody else will touch the scones. If I say that's what I'm doing, then that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, nobody else is going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, people come in and they eat that scone out of the oven. And even if they come to the pub, and I've made them in the pub in the evening time sometimes, and like people will have it, like I had a couple in last night and they just chanced it and came to the pub to see if I had some. And I had some coming out of the oven and I gave it to them. And the two of them, they were just so happy. They just loved it, loved it, loved it. If they came in and it wasn't me and it wasn't me making that scone, you know, it's just a totally different experience.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like the internet, it takes over so much. And I mean everywhere needs it because you know, that's how businesses thrive. They advertise on the internet or whatever, or you know, people promote themselves and it's amazing. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe I'm just so old-fashioned. I don't know what it is.
Well, I can tell you, I on behalf of myself, and I think of all of New York, probably all over the world, that we're all going to please ask you to keep doing what you're doing, because you're absolutely right. You know, we are, and technology, it can be really great. It really can. It can be a tool, like even, you know, for UES, when I found that, you know, other people had discovered me from all over the world. I remember it was the same thing. It was during the pandemic, and my niece, she sends me a message, you're on TikTok. I said, TikTok? What the hell is that? I didn't know what that was. And, you know, I opened in 2017, and this is still a time when people still had cable TV still, and, you know, people had done a couple of bits on us, but the internet, it is a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, and it can be a way to get out there, but it does take away from that human connection. And this was something that, you know, after the pandemic, we all learned how to do everything at home. We all learned how to make our own cocktails at home. We learned how to bake at home. We had our meals delivered. We had everything. We can do everything at home. But the one thing you cannot get on Amazon, I mean, maybe one day, is you cannot get human connection. You cannot get, you know, this feeling that you get sitting across from an incredible woman, telling her incredible story, like moving me inside, you know, and, you know, I only know you very briefly, but getting to know you now, and the world, I feel like, after hearing your story, is so touching, because we're still yearning for that. You know, we're the only, you know, we're a species that comes out automatically connected to another human being. We crave that connection.
We thrive on it.
We thrive on it, and it can be very difficult.
Like say during COVID, or like at the end of COVID, when I had my Humans in New York story, and you know, it was wild, crazy, 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 and I would get emails from people, and you know, I would respond, and like I tried so hard to respond to all my emails.
Oof.
But there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, crazy. But I did, and I made that effort. I would go home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would go on my phone, and I would like try my best to go through emails and respond to people, and you know, people would respond back, and there was like a whole. And now I have these like beautiful group of people who are like my online regulars for scone orders, all because of that Humans of New York story.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you know, and like I'll see their names come up, you know, in an email, or like yesterday, no, on Saturday evening, I opened up my online orders. I hadn't opened them since last February, before St. Patrick's Day. I opened them, and like I see my emails coming in, and you know, orders come in, and but I see like the same names popping up, and then they send an email saying, "Hey, we're so glad that you're open," you know, and just there's a whole other type of connection.
Yeah.
I know it's through email, but it's still, it's like, it's there.
Yes, it's the newer version of a pen pal, I mean,
Yeah,
and these
yeah,
types of I mean, once upon a time it was billboards only, and then it was
yeah.
posters, right? We used to just see posters if you wanted to advertise
But
something.
it's very difficult to, not difficult, but it's unusual, I think, to really gain connection, like really heartfelt connection with people through email. But for me, I definitely, the emails from people, the Humans in New York people, it just, they're like, it's so special. Like there was a connection there that just, I don't know, it just has gotten better and better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people just, like sometimes, you do something, you'll email people back and forth, and then it's done, it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of still continued, and it's so beautiful,
Yes, and I mean, I think
It's just so special.
Yeah, I think, and it's because, again, back to you and Humans of New York, and Humans of New York is also incredible.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes, the connecting that is there, just that whole page, the premise, and
Yeah.
everything that he does is truly amazing. But it is that human connection, and I feel like someone like you who's so authentic. This is really truly what it is the authenticity in everything that you do. This authentic scone, this authentic, story of yours and coming from the heart. You can't fake that. And in a world, like you said, the internet, a lot of shit's fake. A lot of shit's fake, and a lot of things are dressed up to make, but you really can't fake it. And so that's going to come through the same way it comes through on your scones. It's going to come through on email, and people, they resonate with your story, and they also want to feel like, that it gives them a reason to make their heart beat too, to connect with someone else who's done something so beautiful, and for them to be able to help in that way,
Yeah.
whether it's just,
Yeah.
buying the scones and supporting your business. Like, I'm even after this, I'm like, everybody go buy a scone from Mary's and let's go get shots, because like Mary's our new hero, guys. So pre-shift, we're all going to Mario's, and that's it. But I can see, because just even hearing your story now, and I know so many others are going to hear it, they're going to want to, and so you don't need social media. You are it. You are it. You don't need the ads, and you don't need to post, and you don't need to do the trends, and you don't need to do what's happening right now, because that stuff's fun, and that's it. And I have respect for the people that do that, content creators, the ones that get out there, and some of them are also just that's their own small business that they're starting, and some of them truly do love it. They really do, and it comes through the ones that love going to places. But
Yeah, some of them are so amazing. Like I see some of the stuff that they put up, and I'm like, oh wow. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so fantastic.
Oh my gosh, everyone's like
Yeah.
a videographer,
Yeah.
everyone's an editor, I'm like, everyone's a Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg. Like, it can be really amazing. And that was, that birth from the pandemic. Everyone was at home, and they were forced to find ways to work.
Yeah.
And some people really, they had, they were technologically savvy, or they
Yeah.
were creative.
Yeah.
And this was another creative outlet, not just painting or drawing, but being able to put things together and pair them with music, and pair it with words, and so on and so forth. Like, honestly, like I wish I had more time to learn more about it, but the people that are good at it, they're really good at it. So,
yeah.
but, the one thing that is going to always, doesn't matter, in the world, we're in a heavy place in the world right now, the heaviest that you telling your story, and just every single day you get up, you're going to bake, you're going to put your heart into what you're doing, and it's going to help us all get through. You're mentally holding on to us, and physically, and we're holding hands to get through this period, because that's the only thing we can do, right? I always say, when you're in the mud, you just got to get through it. You can't go any faster in the mud. You can't go any slower in the mud. You just got to, one step at a time. When you're going through hell, just keep going. And so when you go through these periods of time, it is so important that the creators and the people that were just given this gift, and you can teach a lot of things, but some things are just inherent. Who you are is who you are. It was that genetic cocktail that you were given, is the way that I like to refer to it, You pay forward your life to us. You are paying forward your story and your life and your dreams and what you love to do, and you're helping all of us too. And that's like that's the most beautiful thing you can do on this earth. We only get this one shot, and so if all we can do is help others, pay it forward, and do something beautiful, there's not much else,
Yeah.
money and shit and all that stuff that people aspire to. Yeah, that's great, and you can do a lot of things with it, but you only get to put your stamp on this earth once, and your stamp is what you leave. It's your legacy. It's who you are. Not even just having kids and buying a bunch of buildings or stuff, but you will always be remembered for the stamp that you put on this earth and in New York and the blood vein that you are. And it's incredible. It's incredible, Mary. It's incredible, Mary.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and speaking of that, because let me just take a bite of this damn scone here after this, because I might need to make that coffee Irish, Mary. I'm telling you, after that, woo, you got me. So let's switch gears here, because talking about lists, right? Talking about lists of places to go in New York, you were on my list. Not only were you on my list, but you were top on my list. Back in May, I turned 40, and all I wanted to do for my 40th birthday was be with my best friends and eat and drink. Everyone, maybe big parties and such, and I've done all that, but I thought I'm entering a new decade, and this is a new chapter in my life, and I was so excited to turn 40. I couldn't wait. And I wanted to ring in 40, doing exactly what I want to do with the people that I love. So I designed this 40 for 40 in NYC. Spent months picking out the places that I really wanted to go. I had just opened Champagne Problems, and I haven't done anything. I signed the deal in 2023. It was the most insane build out of my life. Every single dollar, $1.2 million that I credit card after credit card after credit card, anybody that would lend me $1 type of thing. I hadn't been out. I hadn't taken a vacation. I hadn't done anything. I haven't left New York, since 2023. And so I missed a lot of places. And there's always a new place, a new bar. And I love to, check out the bars and the scenes. So I had designed this. And obviously I had, put the map on it. I rented a Sprinter van. Everything was timed just so. And you were first on my list. And this is choosing you just because I had heard about these scones. And if it's something that's truly iconic or something that, everyone's got to have, I want to try that too, so that I can say, yeah, this was really amazing, or nope, I got Instagram tricked. So May 8th, we rolled up in that Sprinter van, stepped inside, and boom, I saw you. And I was like, oh shit. I was with my friend Pete, and he's a big foodie too, and he was so excited about the scones, and the rest of my best friends were in the van because we had double parked, and I was like, guys, I'm not sure because of this, the line could be really long, so let's go in there, we're gonna suss it out. And I wore this dress because this was a dress, I bought it in Chinatown, and I'm a big ball gown kind of gal. And I told my best friends, look, it's ball gown day. And they're like, all day? I'm like, yeah, all day. All day we're gonna wear a ball gown. And I walked inside, and I could feel it right away. And then everyone was so kind to me, and with the dress, and I was so excited to just be there. And I'm 40 now, and I'm in this beautiful place. And there you were, there covered in flour.
Yeah.
And the gentleman, the young man at the front, we ordered, and he was so nice and so kind.
That was probably I think it was my oldest boy that was working that day when you were there.
Okay, so I mean, and they should be obviously,
Yeah.
holding down the fort and working. I mean, if you're gonna have kids, you got to put them to work. Because
Yeah.
even now, I'm hiring right now, and I'm like, maybe I should have popped a couple out. But I saw you, and I obviously didn't want to slow you up because you were working, and there was a lot of people in there, and you were so kind to come out and just give me a hug, and I wanted to.
Yeah, but it was so great. You were so amazing. It's you say you walk in and you feel it, but I can sense it when people walk in. You just know it's like you walk in the door, and there's just something about it. And there's something about it that I can sense, people come in, and I am so lucky because they are so happy when they walk into the shop. And there's this feeling when they walk in, people are excited to be there, and they just love it. But then there's somebody like you that comes in, and I'm like, oh my God, look at her. She's amazing.
Who is this Princess Lost from Disneyland? Why is she
but it
here?
was so beautiful. And then you had the chocolate bars.
I had the chocolate bar.
Yeah.
I know that you have one, so
Yeah,
I brought
yeah.
this for you, and I passed these out.
They're
I made
so
100
cute.
of them. This is me in private school. I think I
Yeah.
was in I don't know, second grade or so.
But it's who's going to do that?
But this
It's
this
just
is
so
new for you.
cool.
This has to go at the bar. This was what I gave to the people I went to in the
my
bars.
God.
This is the money shot. Me rolling around a little bit of money. May 8th, 2025. So this is going home with you.
Okay.
And the next time I have a shot when I go to Mario's, I want to make sure I'm shooting from.
I'll keep that behind the bar.
You're going to keep that behind the bar. But yeah, you took the chocolate and you gave me a hug. And, you know, like I said now, and I had told you I'm going to be starting this podcast. And I'm starting this podcast because I love hospitality and I love the people behind it. These stories that sometimes they get told, but sometimes they don't in a way that, you know, they need to be told. And I told you back in May, and, you know, here we are in September, and I couldn't wait to have you. And you were like, you were my big get. You were my big get. And they talk about, you know, these big gets, and, you know, I'll have a bunch of people on, but I have a feeling that I'll do this for a very long time, and you will always be one of the top people that I've ever had on this podcast. And you really started out my 40th birthday and my new chapter, my new decade. Like, you're a part of my life forever.
Good for you.
Good for you, Mary. Good for us.
you.
So, well, Mary, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for New York, what you're doing for other people, what you did for me, what I know that you're going to continue to do for many, many others. And like I said, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts, because your heart comes through and you're touching ours, and it's truly beautiful to witness. And damn, Mary, let's have a little cheers here to this
Thank
little
you
coffee.
to you. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, thank you so much, Mary O'Halloran, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.